This is Andi for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by a tired and a sunstroke hit Joe Weller here in Miami. Joe, how are you feeling in and amongst all of that?
Mate, I am sunstroke. I actually think I've got a dose of it. I need some water because all day doing Sky Sports we were basically filming outside on, you know, that sunroof where they did the face-off. Yeah, so we've been out there all day. Obviously in here, nice and cold, but Jake Paul and Gib, I think we've seen who's going to win. Wait, who do you think?
I don't like to pick fighters. I sit on the fence.
Really? I think what we've seen there is Jake Paul. He's trying to put on the persona. He's trying to, that whole nervous energy that he was like doing and rambling about bollocks. I think we saw that he is not comfortable. Like, he looks at his brother Logan and he's like, why can't you know, get it together in the fight and stay level-headed? I think we're seeing him do the same thing as Logan, whereas Gib and Vidal, they just seem so calm, composed. And I think they look like they're in the zone to just bring it, and I don't think Jake is, but we'll see.
What did you make of Jake obviously just staring at Gib throughout the entire face-off, even when they were supposed to be doing their head-to-heads facing the cameras? Overcompensating.
Like, if you're feeling like you need to do all of that, there's a reason, right? It's the guy that's sitting there, visibly composed and calm, that is really the confident one. And yeah, I think, you know, in the face-off doing all this, like physically, like, what's that, firstly? And secondly, if you look into it, he's leaning away. It's almost like he doesn't, as a joke or whatever, but he doesn't want to get involved because he knows he can't really crack Gib. Like, Gib's he's too present, he's too in your face, he's too much. And I think that's what the fight's going to go like, personally.
Gib's obviously, you know, he has his own huge following over social media and YouTube, etc. But how do you think he's actually fared and coped with the different type of media attention he'd have received this week?
I actually think he doesn't like it. Like, I think he, you know, the whole media stuff, he doesn't like it. He just wants to fight. You know, when we commentated the last fight, he couldn't string two words together, if I'm honest. No, he really couldn't. They had to get Bazinga in to try and help. I probably shouldn't say that, but he just didn't really enjoy it. Whereas fighting, he loves it. Like, he actually loves it. He's not just doing it for a paycheck or whatever. He just wants to fight. So, you know, I think he's in the right place.
What do you make of Gib and Vidal's relationship on the trainer and trainee front? Obviously, I know Vidal helped him lose all his weight. He's been training for a while now. But what do you make of it now as a professional fight and Jake Paul is much more on the line because of a rivalry?
I think, without a doubt, it's going to be, he's the best guy for Gib to be with, and I think any YouTube boxer, because firstly, Gib and Vidal have been together longer than any of them, so longer than KSI was with Vidal. Gib was the original one that Vidal trained, so, you know, that's going to be great. I think Shane Mosley, on paper, great trainer, but from only knowing Jake a short amount of time, you know, you can have all the qualities, but if the chemistry and the relationship isn't there, then, and I don't think, even if it is there, you know, a 4-year relationship like Vidal and Gib has, I don't think can compare with it. So yeah, I think in terms of team and unity, in fact, I think at one point Jake said, oh yeah, I'm going to do him in 3 rounds. And yeah, my coach says the same thing. But Shane Mosley held up 2. I think he was going to say do it in 2. So I just don't think they're fully on the same page. It's all for show a little bit.
Obviously, Sugar Shane Mosley, a legend in the boxing world. Yes. What do you make of him getting involved into a YouTube fight, as it's been called?
Part of me, right, you know, seeing that his kids are fans and, you know, he sees how big it is, I think that's the most attractive part about it. Like, his kids are probably like, wow, you're training Jake Paul, it's amazing. Is he as committed and is he as enthusiastic as Vidal has been? Does he get it? Is he there for the paycheck? I mean, you don't know. I have no doubt that he's going to be able to give so much, like, the best advice and you know, show amazing skills. But overall, this comes down to being fully committed, being able to, you know, have that connection with your fighter. And has he got that in this short amount of time? Well, definitely not as much as Vidal and Gib.
One thing I'm interested to know is, obviously, Gib's been training in Vegas, Jake Paul up in Big Bear, which is notorious for, you know, high altitude, very difficult place to stick out a full camp. What do you make of the campsite I had in comparison to your amateur bout? Are you kind of relieved you haven't had to relive this type of a professional camp, or?
Well, yeah, I mean, Gib's saying that it is the hardest thing in terms of not only just the training. These guys, you know, professionals that he's going against that are just beating him up, like, you know, they're there to do that, to show him how hard it really is. But his trainers never give him a day off. Like, it's constant. It's absolutely no yes men at all. And that can be draining, like when you don't have your mates, when you know, you're not allowed to converse with anyone else by these two blokes that are just in at you constantly. It must be hard. And, you know, I don't feel like Jake has it quite the same. It's more, he does what he wants. I feel he's quite narcissistic in that sense. He can't be told. I don't think he can be humbled like I think you need to be in order to become the fighter that you need to be, if that makes sense. So, yeah.
Obviously, Logan and Jake, and no disrespect to anyone, but have a bigger social media following than what Gib does. How do you think that's going to fare with regards to them trying to stay mentally switched on for the challenge of Gib and not just thinking they've got a bigger profile, they may be better than him, and just kind of overlooking him?
Yeah, I think it's dangerous, like straight up. If, you know, Jake's already talking about, he says, oh, I'm too good for Gib, essentially. Gib's nothing. That's awful. He's not even trying to fathom losing. Bad idea, because you need to take losing seriously as a possibility to train hard enough, to work hard enough. If you write it off, it's almost like you're saying, yeah, I don't need to put the extra work in. I mean, I have no doubt he's worked so hard because his ego won't allow him to, you know, that's what he thinks more than anything. Yeah, he needs to preserve his image, what is left of it. And I do think as well, looking forward to the KSI fight and what is in the future, bad idea. You talk to Gib, he's only talking about Thursday. And that is realistically all that matters.
In the interview you did with my colleague Ryan, I think it was yesterday or the day before, you said that you can kind of see the book stop with this fight. You don't see it going beyond this with regards to YouTubers coming into boxing. What is that? Why do you think that this could well be the last one?
I just don't think there's many other like YouTube boxers that, one, are good enough, two, want it, and three, the people care about. Like, you know, Logan Paul wanting to fight Antonio Brown. No one cares, mate. It needs to be, I feel like it needs to be YouTubers, or at least celebrities that we're all invested in, like as a whole, not just some people in America or some people in the UK. If this is going to be the worldwide event, the world needs to be invested, and I think you're going to get that mostly with YouTubers. And like I say, I don't think there's many left bar Gib, Jake. I know Deji's looking maybe to fight, but is he good enough to fight, you know, turn pro? I don't know, but yeah, that's why. And if Gib wins, then Jake's done. Gib won't fight KSI, so I don't think there's anything else. So if we want it to continue, realistically, we need Jake to win. But I want Gib to win.
One thing you did mention to me in LA for the KSI Logan Paul 2 fight was the importance of weight classes. Now, obviously, naturally, as there's more fights, there's going to be less chance for people to meet because there's going to be less opportunities there. You've obviously said that you can see the importance on the back of your fight. How important do you think that is going to be moving forwards, that we don't see people trying to step up into weight categories which they can't naturally fill out and the dangers it could possess?
Yeah, I mean, just naturally, if you want the best fight, you need to meet somewhere. You know, for my fight, I was 79 kilos and JJ was like 85 or 86. It's unheard of. And realistically, I didn't even think of it. I thought, I don't care what weight he is, I'm just going to fight him and beat him. It doesn't matter. But you know, it does matter. I mean, it just does, and that's why we have weight classes. So, yeah, man, I think overall, I think as long as that's taken care of, and no one's forced to go too high above their weight or too low for their weight, then I think we'll be fine. But I do hear that Jake Paul is having to cut at the moment. Apparently, he's very depleted. He looked quite tired, and yeah, he's struggling to make weight a little bit.
One thing someone said to me yesterday, I don't necessarily think it will happen, but they put out the idea of a YouTube World Boxing Super Series type thing, you know, 8 YouTubers obviously going into a tournament. Could you ever see something like that coming to fruition?
Only way you'll see that is if it's white collar with head guards. You can't have a bunch of, you know, there's not unlimited amount of YouTubers that can box and want to box professionally, let alone white collar. And as well, like, it has been you know, a craze and everyone's like been buzzed for it, but I feel like there's going to be a new thing that comes along. With the way YouTube works, you know, there's always trends. It's not just, oh, this is now how it is and that's it set in stone. It constantly changes. I think YouTube boxing's kind of on its way out. Everyone's pretty much done with it. I think that, you know, I'd like to see something else. Maybe we do bowls, or maybe, I don't know, something. But I think it's going to go now somewhere a bit more light-hearted, a bit more fun. Everyone's done with the beef. It's draining, it's exhausting, and I think seeing everyone get along and do something together, I think that's where we may be going, I think.
Would you be interested in a YouTuber bowls tournament?
100%, I'd smash everyone. I don't know, honestly, I would do it. I love sport, mate. So like any of the sports, archery, you know, badminton, get me involved. Would you do it?
I'd do it if I was asked. I don't think I'm important enough, but I'd do it.
I think you are.
What do you think, just a final question, do you think it's got to be something which is physical to entice people into having an interest to watch you guys, or would it something like an archery or something else? Table, I don't know, but you can see where I'm going with it.
Yeah, realistically, nothing compares to boxing or combat. I think combat sports, that is something about a geezer going against another geezer trying to fight that just, it's exciting to watch. So, yeah, I don't think anything else will compete with that. I think, no, the next trend probably will be something completely different, like completely different, not just another sport. So, yeah, excited to see what it is.
Before I let you go, what's your final prediction, then? Because I don't think we'll be able to catch you tomorrow because you'll be trying to get rid of his sunstroke. So, how do you expect the fight to play out?
I think AnEsonGib, TKO, he's going to stop him. He's the boy. He's amazing. Come on, Gibbo.
Joe, well, I appreciate your time as always. It's been a pleasure to catch up with you. Speak to you soon.
Respect. Take it easy.